There are certain situations when running a loop when you want to either break out of the loop completely or move to the next iteration of the loop without completing the rest of the statements that are in the loop. Ruby provides some commands for doing that, and in this lesson we're going to take a look at those commands. So let's start off by looking at a program that I've already written. This program is a simple little division program that prompts the user to enter a numerator and a denominator, and then Ruby calculates the result of dividing the numerator by the denominator. And then it prompts the user if they want to enter another set of numerators and denominators. So let's take a look at how the program runs. You'll notice it's doing integer division since 13 divided by 3 came out as 4. If I want to stop the program, all I have to do is enter n to stop it. Now, let's run it again. Let me clear the screen first. But now watch what happens when I enter 0. 0 causes something called a zero division error in Ruby and makes the program crash. Now there are fancy ways of handling that error, but I want to show you a simple way of handling it using a premature exit or a premature reiteration or extra iteration of the loop. So let's go back to the code. So what we want to do is, after the user enters the denominator, we want to check and see if the denominator is equal to 0. And if it is, what we'd like to do is we would like to just go on to the next iteration of the loop. So we can do that by just typing the command next. And what that will do is that it will transfer us right back to the top where we can start over again. So let's try that. So you see this time I entered 0, and rather than trying to divide 12 by 0, it simply took us back up to the numerator, to where we enter a new numerator and a new denominator. Another command that works about the same is redo. So let's try that one. So every time I enter 0 for a denominator, it just takes me back to the top to let me start over again, and allows me to quit. Finally, and I don't recommend this, especially in this situation, but there are times when you just want to stop. And when you just want to stop, the way to do that is by using break. Let me demonstrate how that works. Let's clear the screen first. So we'll do a couple correctly. Now let's do one wrong. So notice what break did. When it discovered the denominator was 0, break just had us break out of the program altogether. So what we've seen are 3 different ways to change the control flow of a loop. We have next and redo, which essentially just start another iteration of the loop. And then we have break, which takes us out of the loop altogether, and in this case, it ends the program. If we had somewhere else to go, though, I'll put a little comment here, the next line, then break would take us down to the next line. Now, having shown you how to use these tools, I should mention that it's generally considered bad style to exit loops prematurely. You should always try to find a way to work around it. So the break command especially should be used with extreme caution. Redo and next, on the other hand, are perfectly valid when a situation comes up where you need to start the loop iteration over again, such as the situation I've demonstrated in this example. But break should only be used when there's no other choice and the only way out of the situation is to break out of the loop. So in this lesson, we've looked at 3 ways to change the control flow of a loop. In the next lesson, we're going to look at a command that allows us to change the control flow of an iterator-based. You'll notice I've used a while loop in this lesson. But for iterator-based loops, there's another command that we can use to start an iteration over again, and that's called retry. And we're going to look at that in the next lesson.